Hey everybody, thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for kind of going with the flow. Wasn't able to go live yesterday, and I'm not exactly sure what the rest of my day is going to hold, so I'm going to make sure that I get this live done right now. You may hear my little one yelling in the background because he is trying to figure out how to get his toes, and he can't quite figure out why when he grabs them, they don't stay. So Workshop Wednesday, this volume is titled Couldn't Do Workshop Wednesday, so it's turned into Tiny Tyrant Thursday. We're going to talk about identifying your reaction to change and identifying how it happens in your life and for your particular circumstances. So change is one of those things we all know happens, right? We're not living in a static life. We're not able to go through this life without experiencing some sort of change. It's biologically and scientifically impossible. So some change is really exciting. You've got your surprise parties if you're into that sort of thing. You know, hey, you just won the lottery. Those are some really decent surprises, but let's be absolutely honest here. The kind of surprise that we're talking about is the surprise where it comes up, smacks you in the face, and laughs. It laughs right at you, and then it runs away. So how do we deal with this little ninja? First, we have to understand exactly the kind of change we're talking about. So what we're going to do is kind of separate the grief and loss type changes, those really huge major changes, from what everybody would call your day-to-day. Everybody is going to react differently to any kind of change. But when it really comes down to how you identify it, the grief and the loss and the giant shifts are going to be over in a separate corner. You know, we're still going to talk about them, but they're going to be in their own separate little world. So when dealing with the day-to-day changes, these could be everything from your computer doesn't work to, hey, I wasn't able to do a live yesterday because my kid needed me, to, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and then put salt in your coffee. Believe me, it's happened. Don't do it. Where the individuality that we've talked about before comes in is that everybody expects you to react a certain way in our society when you've suffered a loss, death of a loved one, serious trauma, something like that. Then they expect you to act a lot differently than if you had put salt in your coffee. I think we're all a little guilty of this. Some people have asked me during times of, really big struggles, well, how do you handle it so well? It's like, well, I don't know if I handle it well. I just handle it the way I do, and my little dude's getting a little cranky. So we're going to roll right on through this. We're all unique. These ways of having to deal with trauma, the ways of having to deal with change and things like that, other people's way of telling you how to deal with it or expecting how you should deal with it or handle it, they're arbitrary and outdated, and we need to stop them. More on that later. So we're all unique. This exercise is going to help to identify the kinds of change that you're facing and how you react to them. So first, when we look at the individual that you are, that we all know and love, look at your reaction to change. Look at it as a piece of your individuality. How do you react to, go ahead and classify it. How do you react to the major versus the minor? How do you classify the major versus the minor? My assistant is unhappy. So when you identify it, we have the power of that knowledge, and that can help us a millionfold. Let's be real, 10's overrated. So reflect on the last time you had a major change in your life. Major change. What was it? How did you deal with it? And what made it major to you? Think about those things. Reflect on it. Kind of, jazz it up in your mind. Next, reflect on the kind of change that would be considered some sort of everyday inconvenience, et cetera, et cetera. Do the same thing. Reflect on that. What's the difference in your reaction? That's what we really want to notice. So he is very angry. I do apologize, but I have to go help him get his toes now. So I look forward to any discussion that this brings. Everybody, if you have questions or anything like that, if you want like an outline of some of these exercises, hit me up. Like, share, tell your friends, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye.